Alright, I think it's working. Sorry about that. It's been a minute trying to get some of this thing working. I had to restart my whole computer. And then it had like this update threat, so that was scary. But I think we got it all working. Everything's going now. So, hello there, Pastafarian. It's me, Schizophrenic Mage. I've been running around in this game a little bit while I've been working on some things here, or waiting for things to, load and shit. But, yeah, gonna start doing some research. But anyway, yeah, so, I'm running this fucking stream here, trying to get people to come in and buy my T-shirts, but, it's just not working, so we're gonna go back to the formula that we were using back at other radio show. Like, people were talking about, some of the people that I was getting advice from were talking about, why I should not do it the way that I was doing it before. But, I think those are bad reasons. I think they misunderstand as well, sort of, some of the implications of these things. So we're going to be doing it like we were doing it. So if you do have a favorite radio show from the classic, season 4 or 5 or whatever, do let us know, do link that and be like, this is our favorite, and we'll try to make the radio show more like that instead of less like that. We are going to have a call-in section. If people want to talk to me at the end of this, they can fucking call in at a Discord. We've got a couple set up, so, if they want to be on a private, oh, my fucking dog right here, private Pastafarian Discord, they can do that. But if they want to be on a more public sort of server, so that they don't feel like my mods are going to take advantage of them, we'll be doing that as well, whatever. But that'll be at the end, so, yeah. First, I've got lots to talk about. I went to this atheist thing, and these atheists were crazy, let me tell you. Allow me to tell you that in the next sort of hour or two. And then also, I think today, it's another day where it's sunny before it's snowing, so we're gonna go back out to the mall and try to get some converts, try to hand out some placebo, get people addicted to our cult. Craft a bespoke religious experience for all these people in Denver. So if you would like your own bespoke religious experience, do come on down to the 16th Street Mall today. We'll be spoking down there. But yeah, until then, let's listen to an opening hymn here. Hold on a minute. Let's see. Oh, Dyson's gonna be mean to me. Oh, here we go. Yeah, opening hymn here.
After 70 years, that what he goes there for is to unlock the door. While those around him criticize and sleep. Through a fractal on a breaking wall, I see you, my friend, and touch your face again. Miracles will happen as we dream. But we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we are a little crazy. our people, only some want to fly. Isn't that crazy? Crazy. In a heaven of people, there's only some want to fly. Isn't that crazy? Oh, babe. In a world full of people, there's only some want to fly. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? But we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. But we're never gonna survive unless we are a little. But we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. But we're never gonna survive unless we are a little.
Unless that was muted. I don't know. Maybe that worked. Maybe it did not. It's hard to know. But anyway, some people were talking about the streams that we were doing. They were like, I'm just not feeling... Come here, Bones. Good boy. Come here. Just not feeling the warmth of the noodles and the saucy warmth of the holy noodles of his flying appendages. And so you know, we'll do the prayers. We'll do it like it is. If you have any placebo, you know, I'll do some placebo with you now. Yeah, like this. Hold on a second. Oh, Flying Spaghetti Monster! We do call upon you today to look over our lives, you know, but then also, you know, keep your distance. Thanks very much for all those things in the world that are super nice and great, and, you know, fuck you for all that shit that really fucking sucks. Thanks for, like, the gift of intelligence and critical thought, the ability to discern sort of, like, what reality is, all these ways we have of sensing it, such that we can understand what's going on, and this crazy memory we have, of, so we can check out these patterns and choose for ourselves those things that might benefit all of us. And for this great and happy family you've given us all over this planet, of this wonderful species that we are a part of, that you know, cooperates and helps edify and lift the whole of itself. Oh, Flying Spaghetti Monster, please do help these people addicted to myth and lies to trust reality and to worship truth, such that they can understand your will, and then defy that will, depending on, you know, their will, based upon the will that, you know, you gave us. And we say these things in the name of truth, in the name of love, and in the name of Flying Spaghetti Monster. Ramen! Alright, so maybe we'll be, yeah, hopefully, now that we've gone back to the classic, we'll be able to get that audience, and then sell them t-shirts, because before, I didn't have t-shirts. And now I've got a fucking P.O. box. 31438, Aurora, Colorado, 80041 or something like this. So, you know, send $1 there, we'll send you out a catalog, and you can buy things from it. Also, we've got this supplement to last year's catalog to update the merch. You know, the corona's hit a lot of people, slowed down a lot of plans, and so we're still using the 12,021 catalog. I hope you're not, like, making fun of us. Oh, look at this! A Big K Cherry Cola, naturally and artificially flavored, very cherry. That's some fucking classic shit right there. So, lots of stuff has happened since we last really had a radio show. Tons of millions of things. Including, there's this person here, a very kind person, whose name is Whitney Avalon. I think I might have said the wrong name last time. I guessed, I tried to recall her name. I was very off, I think. But maybe I was not. Maybe I said Whitney, but I doubt it. But Whitney Avalon has made a very, very wonderful him for the worshipfulness of the flying spaghetti monster. So we'll listen. We will listen to that hymn now.
I have felt all of my life the love of our Creator, who delivers us from strife, our true north navigator. There is grace in this belief, in knowing what is right, that my life, however brief, is guided by His light. He's a spaghetti monster, and he flies. He is right here in my heart, and there on high, with his perfect pair of giant googly eyes. I know he sees all that I do, can't be surprised. He's a spaghetti monster, and you bet he flies. When I think about his blessing, my faith is hotter than a cinder. And when others say we're guessing, I just strap on my colander. He's a spaghetti monster, and he flies. He will never ask you to be circumcised. No, no, do not question his grand plan, for he is wise. Reassure your friends whenever someone dies. He's a spaghetti monster, and he surely flies. He's a spaghetti monster, and he flies. He's floating up there, sauce-tossed in the skies, dressed piratical, and don't apologize. I have felt his noodles hold me when I cried. He's a spaghetti monster. He's our spaghetti monster. Trust and obey the monster, for I know that he still flies. Ramen.
Oh, and ramen to you. What a wonderful song. Please, pardon me while I collect my emotions after that. My goodness. Very good, Whitney Avalon. I'm going to criticize it now. Like, hopefully the ability to criticize something doesn't make people think that I dislike it. It is very good. It is very good. It understands what parody is. It makes a lot of really, really good arguments, including the circumcision one. It's very good understanding it. Hello there, Mania, Leafdevol. I think I follow you on Facebook, I think. And maybe it's spelled a little bit different, but ramen to you, ramen to that song. Lots of very good pieces of parody in there. Lots of problematic things as well. Like, first of all, I don't know if we're going to have to start calling them quabsons instead of hymns anymore. Quabbins, I think that they should be called. Because, and we're going to have to move it quickly to quab flies, unfortunately, because that's sort of the word that we're working on there. Mr. Lovable. Yeah. Alright, sorry about that. No, I don't mean to be bad at pronouncing every single name in the world, but, I'm going to blame my eyes. I have to, lean over So I've made like 3 attempts in my mind before I can see all the letters. So I think that is that's what's going on, Mr. Lovable. But so here's the problem with Quab. Okay, first of all, we've got a word and it's it. So I don't know why we need a new word for Quab, because Flying Spaghetti Monster cannot be offended when we call it. That's just that's nonsense. So Quab wouldn't need a whole different word for it. And so there's a big problem in Pastafarianism is how the pronoun to use for the creator of all things. Quab has been presented, but a lot of people misunderstand what that is and literally think it's the name of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. And maybe it is, I don't know, but like that's not what the word was used for first. So if you think that the Flying Spaghetti Monster needs a name and you think that name is Quab, I really have no argument against that. If you think the Flying Spaghetti Monster requires a pronoun in the English language and you want to use Quab for that, that's what I think it was originally used for. And the reason that I don't use it is because I think the solution to the English language is to drop the she. So if everyone just says my pronouns are he, I think we are past it. And then if we want to pick up the she again later, if future English speakers want to pick up the she again later, I think that's it. I think that's the solution. Because I kind of am with Joe Rogan here on the idea. Back when he was saying, instead of saying the N-word, he was saying the word and then the N-word. He was using the word in quotations, and he was saying the word when he was referring to it. And I think that that's the healthier way of doing it. I think the thing that I would use when I refer to that word would be the phrase the N-word. Or, I mean, it would be the phrase, quote, the word, and then N-word, end quote. I'd say that whole phrase, you know? I wouldn't say the N-word because it's like the Voldemort argument. I think the Voldemort argument works. That, like, if the putting something in its own category is what makes it special, and taking it out of that category is the way to defuse the bomb, as it were. I'm following J.K. Rowling about this, and she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. So, I don't know if we should trust Hermione on this. But, also, again, I'm not saying it here, I just think that's the way it should be. I think the way it should be is we don't use the word he, or she anymore, rather. We only use the word he, because what the fuck are we talking about penises all day long for, and vaginas? So I'm with Joe Rogan, but like Joe Rogan doesn't say it anymore, even though he thinks it's healthier, and I don't either, because it's only healthy if everybody believes it is, and so I'd like to make the argument that it is without hurting feelings, but I don't think anyone cares about the argument. I think it's like this whole other class of idea. How to actually clean up the language, how to make it so that the English language is not gendered. I don't think Quab is the answer, is what I'm trying to say. I think he is the answer. I think calling it misrepresents it because the creator is sort of implied to have a personality and sort of desire to know you and a lot of these theistic ideas. So, we definitely want that in the Flying Spaghetti Monster, so I think he is appropriate. I think she is also appropriate. I think one of the problems with the presuppositionalist God is that when they define it as having all greatnesses, and then they say maleness is a greatness, and then they say femaleness is not a greatness, I just don't know what they're doing there. So I think a God with all greatnesses must have maleness and femaleness and asexualness. So, like, the idea is God, the creator of all things, the one and the first mover, he created logic, and so thus is not subject to logic. Like, that's implied. A lot of Christians don't understand they're implying that when God created the disability to contradict, that means he's not subject to it. So God contradicts all the time. He's outside of that idea. And so they just really don't understand that they're implying all of those things. Unless God is subject to the law of non-contradiction, which is very weird, because that's the whole point, is, did he not make the law of non-contradiction? So, hopefully, when we go to the Ask a Pastafarian thing there, we'll get some mythidicts that we can talk to about that. Hopefully not. Hopefully we'll be able to just, talk until we get there, so we don't have to talk to these dipshits. Because, they're just trying to win arguments instead of seek truth. Like, I just really can't trust the other people to be in good faith conversations. But of course that's what I'm trying to criticize about Discord, is that it's just a bunch of fake ass conversations. Just try to ask the person his name and try not to generalize groups of people. We are individuals. It's abstract thinking in the whole. Absolutely. I think the idea of like no dogmas really does sort of give Pastafarianism the ability to just really be like, right, but why? What is it you're trying to say? Like people are talking about Quab and being like, this is what we call it, and it's like, I mean, if we're trying to say something, like, for what reason would we be doing that? Not just dogmatically. We don't just dogmatically do that. It's got to be there for a reason. So, what are people trying to say with Quab, and what are they trying to say with him or it or whatever? And so with him, what I'm trying to say is that should be the only English pronoun. I don't really need these other ones unless I'm trying to talk about how the sexual jigsaw puzzle fits together, which I rarely do, especially in front of people like my children and my parents and things like that. I'm always using he and she in front of them, and I really don't want to be fucking referencing genitals in front of these people. How are we getting along with the Dyson Sphere? So fucking slow. Let me switch over to that so that I can maybe make a little bit of progress here while I'm talking to you. So I don't want to talk too much about it, but right now I'm finally setting up the Matrix lab. We got to get the circuit boards and the magnetic coils, and I think these are the magnetic coils. So I'll be doing that here. So that's what I'm doing while I talk to you. But the other thing that I would like to talk to you about today is this thing that I'd done on the weekend. I was is that right? The weekend? Mm-hmm. Feels like the weekend.
Yeah,
must have been Saturday. I am part of a community. Like, I live in a city, and in this city there's other YouTube preachers, and a lot of time you cannot interact with them. Like, they're so active on YouTube, and you're like, hey, I'd like to talk to you, and they're like, yeah. But you only have 1,000 subscribers, and I have like 10,000 subscribers, and that's a big difference. So I can't talk to you. And then then they're like, oh, I'm in Denver and I'm doing Denver stuff. And I was like, ha, you can't tell me how many subscribers I have in real life. And I'm always preaching on the streets, and so, it's fun. It's funny that these YouTube preachers are... Anyway, there's this atheist preacher here in Denver that I went to listen to at the Atheist Hub here in Denver. His name is Chris Shelton, and I don't know where the secular hub is where it was at, and they do have a YouTube, and I might link that eventually into the links, but you can Google it. Why do I gotta do what you're Googling for, you Christ? So go ahead and Google the Atheist Hub in Denver and their videos, and then you can, if it comes up, you can see it. Look at that. If you just want a one-click solution to that, it's kind of like you don't even care, do you? Like why? Like, come on. If you gave a shit, you'd just type it. Your fingers would just type it. So I'm not trying to convince you to give a shit. If you don't care enough to type, I'm not gonna like click it in the link, dude. I'm not like trying to advertise this to you and like make it so easy to buy. I'm just saying, if you want to know, that's where it is. The Atheist Hub there. Go check it out, and you can listen to the speech that he was giving about how silly Scientologists are, and other things, I guess. But then it opened up to like this question answer thing, and he was talking a lot about cults, and so obviously, I'm going to take exception to that as the leader of the largest cult in the Colorado area. Like, obviously, I know who he's criticizing. There's only really one major cult in Colorado, if you can't think of think of another cult going on in Colorado other than the one true cult here, the Pastafarian cult, first Pastafarian cult of YouTube. So the message was quite well received. So we went and listened to it, and he was talking about high control groups and coercive control is the way that he was talking about it. It was very critical. And then there was this point where we were sort of identifying the American Armed Services as having some overlap on these systems. Specifically, its tendency... Well, we were talking about the emotional needs of a human, and how when those emotional needs are not being met, we were talking about how your reasonable mind does not get to make the decisions. It's actually the emotional needs part of your mind that is making all the decisions, and when it doesn't want to make a decision, then it turns things over to your rational mind. Then you're allowed to think higher thoughts, when all of your emotional needs are met. Which is true and part of the human condition, and has been true forever. That you can debase humans by taking away their things, these things. There are 9 of them, and I don't want to list them all, but one of them is bodily autonomy, and so the ability to walk in and out of the place where you dwell. The ability to walk around is sort of a need, and the idea of stability, the idea of the self. And so when we were talking about socialness and independence, you need both of those. And so we are a contradiction. We need contradicting things. We need to be alone, and we need to be with a group. So we are a failed device. We have programmed into us opposite needs. We need opposites. We feel uncomfortable enough to become irrational when we're doing that. Sorry, look at this. I'm not all working on this game like I said I was going to. So anyway, I'm not trying to tell you re-give his speech or do a book report. I'm just talking about why it came up here, that we were thinking about the similarities between a high control group and the American Armed Services. The major one, I suppose, is that you don't really need a personality when you're there, and so they kind of tell you, don't worry about that part. Don't have a personality. Don't need certain parts of yourself too much. These needs. And it can be seen as a high control group, and they also call you private all the time. They give you a new identity. They give you a uniform. They do a lot of the things that high control groups do, though not all of them. It doesn't hit everything in the bite model, though the bite model did not come up in this conversation. So I asked the question. We were talking about the need that people have for we were talking about the armed services, and I talked to some people who have been in the armed services, though I've not been there myself, and they say that some of them, the people that I talked to, say that they knew at one point in their life that they were either going to end up in jail, or they could go into the armed services and be taught to not be so rebellious, or whatever it is they...
Forced discipline.
Yeah, disciplined. That's the word. Thank you. That they lack the discipline to keep themselves out of jail, and that one of the givers of discipline is definitely this this group that will teach it to you. Yeah. There is this idea that if you join a cult, if you join this high control group, they will give to you tools and discipline that you will want. And so in that case, what are the safest cults around to join for those people who are feeling that? Because it's a large group of people that are coming out of high school and being like, good God, I thought I'd be more disciplined than this by now. I'm an adult. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to do it on my own. Like, we just tell them, yes, you can. Good luck. Or like they'll join the army, and the armed forces might not have been the best cult to join. Like, maybe at one point they were completely ethical, but I think they had just sort of they've been a bit mercenary in a few of the last wars that they've been in. So maybe you're just a mercenary when you join the American army instead of the Defenders of Truth. So who knows who you're gonna be asked to point guns at when you're an American soldier for the last 50 years or more. Like, I don't know. I don't like, my whole lifetime is what I mean. Like, the people, everyone I know my age or younger that has joined the thing has been maybe going to be killing civilians for corporations. Who knows? So, I mean, I don't want to join a cult that might have me kill somebody. Like, so it's kind of a dangerous one. So I'm saying, is there a sort of safer cult that people who feel that thing can join and not take the risk of fucking Vietnam, right? Then at that point, all the atheists in the room just laughed at me, just laughed out loud, like, "Whoa, of course, obviously, there are no safe cults," and like, I didn't hear anybody making that argument at all. So, the atheist community, I tried to engage with them, good faith conversation, and again, they just, and by the way, in this meeting, it was insane. Everyone was just drinking all the time, and they just had their kids downstairs, like at Thanksgiving, and all the kids have to go into the unfinished basement and leave the drunk adults alone. It just felt so religious. And so, these atheists are doing these religious things and then laughing about people wanting to do these religious things. I thought that was blue. I don't understand the inability of the these atheists to engage the cults face to face. I came to the meeting to try to have a good conversation about it. Instead, they just laugh at you and get drunk and then tell their kids to go downstairs. Now, I left right away. Like, who knows what that thing devolved into as everybody got drunker and drunker. Like, it really was crazy. And there was this, like, hierarchy structure that came in. If it's just, like, your first time, you get this shitty name tag that says, and then that's, like, a signal for all these people to come up to you and, like, love bomb you. And then they point out their lanyards and being like, so here is the president with this color lanyard, and here's the thing. And so it just is all the negative things about the cult community, the sort of hierarchy of belief. And, the atheists are just trying to find another way of achieving that with another unquestionable belief system. So, if you don't want a sad mockery of religion and you want a bespoke religious experience, please do check out the OneTrueCult.com, and we'll be able to craft for you a spiritual religious experience that you can be proud of.
we're both on the same damn side. All the barriers blown away. I said, please talk to me. Won't you please come talk to me? Just like it used to be. Come on, come talk to me. I did not call to steal. You saw what I read. And you show me how you feel now. Come on, come talk to me. Come talk to me. Come talk to me. I said, please talk to me. If you just talk to me, unlock this misery. If you only talk.
Alright, a little bit from, that's Peter Gabriel there, from the album After So, which is the album I had because of, I hung out with John Cusack a lot in the 80s, and I enjoyed his work, and including, of course, Say Anything, which has In Your Eyes in it. Right. Thank you for dropping by, Mr. Lovable. Go have fun watching that other thing that you are watching, and also have fun smoking weed and overcoming a forced discipline of history, I think, in Deutschland, in Dutchland. So yeah, back from the break there, but I forgot to go use the restroom. But I guess I'll wait until the next break. You know, if we have a next break, I don't know how long we're gonna go today. I do want to get down to the mall and sell some shirts down there. Today, let's see what else. Let me check my notes here. Here's my notes. Okay, we can talk about shit on Netflix. I don't know if I've really gone over Cobra Kai. The new season of Cobra Kai is out. Season 4 of Cobra Kai. So, you know, the context here of Cobra Kai is the first season is the tournament, second season is the school fight where they break Miguel's back, third season is the house fight. So, in my opinion, as it stood, it was just getting worse and worse, okay? So, I came into Cobra Kai season 4, I watched it in time and a half, I have to confess, slowed it down for the fights though, of course. Though not, of course. I did slow it down for the fights, especially the good ones. And there were lots of good fights in the season. Now, it's all about the spirit of 1984, right? When the fucking movie came out, or 85 or whatever. And that's like peak WrestleMania. You know, WrestleMania was kicking ass right then. It wasn't in the fucking eye of the culture. But it was really good. Like, peak WWF is... it peaked a couple times, but Golden Age WWF was Macho Man and Steamboat, Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania 2, I think. Is like, when it really was all that it could be, all that it promised, right? Lots of technical things, lots of spectacle. The story is a story you give a shit about. You really care if these people are fighting, right? And so that's what's going on in Cobra Kai. Is these fights mean something and are good and fun. So anyway, I couldn't finish the second episode. I think like what's her name? Juliet. I don't even know what's her name's mum's name. I don't know any of their names. I know Tori though, hopefully. Tori did great. Her fucking story was terrible, and she had to hang out with I can't even remember her name. LaRusso, Lady LaRusso, the Queen LaRusso. Queen LaRusso, right? Like, it's just because they're doing teenage Game of Thrones, right? So, it's kings and queens and prince and princesses, and that's what's going on. That's why, like, they call each other princess a lot, and like, it's not a stretch, right? I'm not like people have said this probably. I don't really look up people talking about Cobra Kai because I like to enjoy it for what I enjoy it for, and I don't need to contextualize it like I do with things like the Super Bowl and shit I don't care about. It's like, okay, why do people give a shit about this? And then, contextualize it like that. But for me, I like Cobra Kai because I fucking like it. Like, that wax on, wax off stuff was magic to me when I was under 10. Like, it was like, whoa, man, how the fuck did you do that? It fucking worked, dude. I came out of that movie, like, punching and kicking. You can ask my mum. She was probably, like, really annoyed. But, yeah, it was great. It worked. And so, what I want from this is Anyway, is not whatever Queen What's and Nuts is doing. She goes in, when she got Tori fired from that job, it was just the weirdest thing. Like, I get that, okay, first of all, they spend the first half of the thing cleaning up the shit from the last season, and that's what the last season was doing. Like, it just 2 times in a row, the season before it was so bad, and they just did this huge course correction, and then it just is insane. It's like 2 separate seasons, like the cleanup and then the setup, and then the fight at the end. So I get it, and we, in effect, it is one. It's a film because it's all to set up the fights at the end. It's all to set up WrestleMania. Why the fuck are these 2 people fighting for each of those fights? What are the stakes? What do they think about each other? And what does this fight mean? And why do I care? And so they know who's going to win the tournament at the end, and then they're setting it all up. And so the big pivot is the pivot in the middle of the thing when we're moving from cleanup to setup is They break up, right? They're like, well, we'll be Cobra Fang again. And it's like, alright, why the fuck were we in Miyagi-Do? And then the resolution of the whole thing, though. Okay, and then the last thing, the end of this all is, I really enjoyed it. I think it was the best season since the first season. The cleanup is just so laborious and sad, and then also the need to have a story for everybody is a problem because. Tori's story with Queen LaRusso is really bad, and it's just crazy. Like, it's just crazy. At the end in the tournament, she just sort of like twirls around out of this hallway and is like, "I'd like to talk to you now." And during that conversation, literally says, "Do me a favor." And it's like, what in the fuck is this?
Now return.
Yeah, now pay up, and it's like this is bad guy language and behavior. Like, what the fuck is going on? I think Silver was amazing until they turned him. Like, Silver was when Silver was talking to Kreese about over and over again about, like, we're gonna make the same mistakes as last time. We're gonna make the same mistakes. You have a weakness. We should have learned the lesson. Let's just teach these kids how to be fucking amazing at karate, and we'll win. And then Kreese does this whole thing where he brings them beers from the war and then breaks his brain. So before his brain is broken, I think Silver does amazing. That actor does really good because he's insane in the third movie. Like, the actor's just fucking coked out and like screaming like the baddest evil guy in the world. It's ridiculous, and it's the same guy. It's the same actor, and he's chill. He's being a sort of bad guy. A person on the wrong team, that is going to defeat us. He's good at it. Like, I'm worried about him fucking convincing Kreese to fucking learn his lesson and fucking win the whole thing. And then he goes crazy, and then it's not as good, but he still is not as crazy as he was in the movie, so it's nice. And his fights are really good. He's huge, and it just really comes across as hard to beat in the fights. Like, he fucking kicks Johnny's ass. He just fucking takes him out, and it's Johnny. Like, he is the best. He is the best. Johnny is. Like, from the point of view of the series, who would win, Cobra Kai or Miyagi-Do? It's Cobra Kai. Shut the fuck up. Like, Johnny is better than Daniel LaRusso. That tie in the middle is stupid. Obviously stupid. What? This fucking they don't know how to tie break in this this centuries old thing. There's no tiebreaker. It's not sudden death. Like, I thought that's how they do it in the tournament. So Silver is really good and scary. He does look like he is so big that he just fucking overpowers Johnny. His kicks look devastating. So I like that actor. I think he did really good. I expected him to do not good. I expected him to be worse than Kreese, and he was not worse than Kreese. Poor Kreese just looks like he is in pain at all times when he's walking around. Like it is really... It's nice that we're giving that actor a job, but pretending that his character is he's still an able-bodied karate champion is kind of cruel to the actor. Like, we can put him in a fucking wheelchair, right? Like, what kind of guilt would we feel if Miguel put him in a wheelchair? That would be a fucking crazy thing to deal with. Okay, so that's Silver and Kreese. Kreese is crazy. He's not good in this. They don't write him good. His turn, his Vader moment is kind of silly. And I really am glad that he's in jail. What's his name? Crabface, is in it just enough that he's not a problem, I suppose. And, we gave him a job, great. Let's see. Tori's amazing. Not much to do. She's growling a lot. But for some reason is going... Yeah, we can talk about alcohol in the fucking series. I have no idea why alcohol is in every single episode except the tournament episode. I don't know why alcohol is a major character in this fucking thing. And also, I don't know why we are making very, very clear that these people are under 18s. And they are definitely fucking in that car. And they are definitely drinking booze. So I don't know why we love to just keep pushing that duality. Like... We're trying to give these people adult behaviors while saying they are... Now, remember, they are 17. Alright. That's weird. So I don't love that, especially because the actors are not. So, are wearing as much as they can to the prom or whatever. And, yeah. That is very crazy. She and... I thought she and Robbie were already together, but I guess I just sort of shipped that in my mind. And so, them getting together is cute, and I think that they should fucking run away. I think the solution is that those guys get the fuck out of Reseda, LA's a pretty big place. Just go over the hill, man. Get out of the valley. So Robbie does amazing. I really like where they ended the whole series. I think a lot of the stories are in a place where it's like, let's not have a next season. Good job, guys. Way to go. And then a couple of the stories are like threatening a really crazy 5th season, which is like, oh no, I think we're gonna have another fucking 5 episodes of like dealing with that shit we said at the end of last season. I just want to write it in my head, right? That Tori sort of comes clean and like hands it over and. It says, how can I even fucking value this? It was stolen from me by my sensei. I think it could be very easy. I think Daniel LaRusso being like, how can I honor agreement with people with no honor is very telling of fucking Daniel LaRusso. I think going back to Eagle Fang was really good. I think the idea of Johnny running Eagle Fang is great. We should just leave it here and be done with it. They did a good job. They got people paychecks, and but they could keep publishing whatever they want. Like that's fine. Yeah. But they got to let these kids move on to other things. Like it's only been a year in the universe, but it's been like 5. Like we're gonna like typecast Miguel and Robbie. Robbie did really good. He was amazing. His fights look really good. I totally skipped over it. I'm super happy for Hawk. I thought that was amazing. Hawk is the most interesting character in that. He's not just being led around by the writers. He is sort of a free agent. He gets to, like, things get to happen to him. Like when there's in fiction, it's very hard for me now. It worked when I was younger for a while, that a character could say to the universe, I don't believe this. And like I would empathize with them, and I'd be like, "Yeah, that's how life feels. I don't believe this." But now, every time I hear that, it makes me feel like we're pointing at the author instead of I'm empathizing with these things because of that's how I feel. It's not how I feel. I don't believe that there's this author out there, sort of doing things. Like if I don't believe it, if I feel that way, if I'm like I don't believe this, then I'm like, oh shit, something obviously. There's something to not believe here, and so like it's not a statement of exasperation for me anymore, like it is still for characters in fiction. So every time they say it, all I hear is this writer's bad at writing, and so because what they are doing is they have the shape of the 10 episodes, and they are leading the characters by the nose. Sorry, to speaking of nose, let me blow my nose here. Leading the characters by the nose into the WrestleMania, fighting the character that they had predetermined, and the outcome is going to be what they predetermined. Major Fritz is here. Hello there. Hello. We're talking about Cobra Kai. We're going to maybe pop into a Discord here and try to get some of these questions from the atheists. And the atheists and the myth addicts as well, because I was talking about the atheists earlier, and so maybe they're like pissed about it and they want to talk about it. So we'll be in the Ask a Pastafarian in a minute, but well, not a minute. It's going to be a while, because before that we're talking about shit on Netflix, which is Cobra Kai. We're talking about season 5 of Cobra Kai, if you can believe such a thing. And I'm talking about Hawk, about how much I love him, and how. The major characters are just led around. Poor Johnny, cannot do anything, cannot think for himself. He must do what the writer wants him to do. He must, when it's like, oh no, Johnny made a bad decision there, when it's like, why did he make that decision? It's like, because the writer needs him to have made that decision such that the drama is what he needs it to be at the thing. It just is transparent and, uninteresting. In a lot of ways. When Johnny makes a mistake, I'm not thinking, oh man, it's human nature to make a mistake. What a true story this is. When Johnny makes a mistake, it's like, oh my god, the writer. Here are the fingerprints again of the author of this fiction. And with Hawk, it is not that. Hawk is not a prince, right? He's out of the formula. He's far enough out of the formula that nobody's talking about him. Kreese and Silver are talking about how your weakness is this and like all this shit. Nobody's fucking talking about Hawk. And so he gets to be sort of in the moment. He gets to be a wild card. He gets to be that which causes the thing. So like, there's lots of there's the kid. Do you remember his name? Was it like Kevin or? Oh man, I can't remember the kid. But he was amazing. He was very good in this, and his story was really good. And also, the youngest LaRusso was in it, and he was very good. And it's the same actor from the first first season when they were just making fun of him for being a fat little kid. So it's nice of him to have outgrown that and also told him to fucking lay off on the actual fucking bullying, and crushed it. They both were really good. The fight scenes were a lot of good. The scene in the library was great. And also the scene in the locker room was really good. LaRusso's attempts to apologize seemed like genuine, and then also like not accepting an apology also seems very genuine in those moments. So the problem in their life is that violence perpetuates, that violence begets violence, and misunderstanding begets misunderstanding, and it takes more to clean up than reasonable. Like it's more than you would expect. It's harder to fix than it seems. So that story was great, and it was it's really good. And then also LaRusso just smashing that iPad is very interesting, and for it to still be sort of like their secret, this sort of so the application of violence is also what we're talking about in this. We're talking about when and where we should fucking throw hands, that's LaRusso. Like, that is LaRusso, like, too close to the line, That's not Miyagi-Do. Like, I don't know Mr. Miyagi smashing a fucking iPad. That doesn't seem to be part of the definition in Danny LaRusso's mind of Mr. Miyagi. What Mr. Miyagi is and what he means. Because he is just carried around in Danny now. That is what Miyagi-Do is whatever Danny thinks it is. And that it like worked as well from his point of view, and then it also didn't work because the whole thing fell to pieces. Johnny was too rough with that kid in the tournament, and then the kid paid it forward when he could have accepted the apology and figured it out. Just didn't want to because wasn't feeling that great about getting his ass publicly beaten. So I really like that. I really like that story. It's really good, and it kind of comes out of nowhere, even though they are like princes, or he at least is the younger prince of LaRusso. Miguel got fucking dicked again. I don't know if they really hurt his back or something, and so they were like minimizing his fights, but like his fight was fine, but it was half a fight, really cute of them. Hawk was really good, like genuine in pretty much everything for the whole second half. In the beginning, again, like I was saying about the fucking Prince of the Creator, Hawk like knocking down those the order from the guy, the young kid whose name is not Kevin. Might have been. I don't remember his name. It seemed not in character of Robbie. I really like Hawk coming into the bathroom, quickly figuring out what's going on, and telling so Anthony LaRusso and the other kid. What's his name? He was very good. He was good in all his scenes, and though there were a couple of like very cartoony moments of like this one time they were like, "Yeah, who's that?" And he's like, and then he walked by. It was really, really sort of what's her name? And then again, I've forgotten the name of our friend from Cobra Kai that we get to see again. She, LaRusso gets to see her. That was a really fun moment. Kenny Payne was great, and young LaRusso was great as well. That thing was super good. I can see more of that. I just really don't want to go to Mexico with Miguel. That seems like we're going to be treating some very serious stuff, sort of in a very cartoony way. Like they've said some very heavy things about who Miguel's father might be, and so I think that the only safe way is to really pull that back, and he turns out to be this sort of petty criminal. That would be nice. I just really don't know what they're going to do with that, and I think it's going to be terrible. I think it's probably going to be terrible. I think they should just stop right here. Who else? Who else should we talk about in that? I really liked it when they finally said that Johnny Lawrence is a two-time All Valley champion. Like, that really was infuriating. I thought I was going crazy. I was like, I thought they introduced this guy as a two-time All Valley champion, and then they just sort of forgot that was like the first thing we ever said about him. It's like, that's Johnny Lawrence. He's a two-time champion. He's the reigning champion, and he's a two-time champion. Be scared of him. And then, we're like celebrating Danny LaRusso for achieving at 16 and 17 what. Well, I think that Johnny's a year older than him, right? So for achieving at 16 and 17 what Johnny LaRusso achieved at 15 and 16. So, I think Johnny's a better fighter. Obviously, the reason that the Karate Kid is good is not because he was good. It was because the magic of love was helping him, right? Like, so, it's weird that he's trying to teach sort of 80s sentimentality as the weapon of choice, because the only thing that it really does is win an audience and an author, right? Like it does different things than what karate's trying to teach, which is learn the moves. They changed the tournament so that there's boys and girls divisions, and that's super interesting that they did it right now. Very interesting that all of the no one complained. All of our 3 dojos were like, all right, so here's how we're gonna win with the new rules. Even Cobra Kai, which is nice because they really do respect that fucking Tori can kick ass. And, I think she did. I think all the fights were great. I think Hawk and Miguel was great and too short, and it should have been the last fight. That would have been amazing. Hawk and Robbie were really good. That was a great fight. Tori and Amanda? Is that her name? No, Amanda's the mother, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I just saw this.
I
forget.
I feel really bad. What's Danny being like, all right, I totally missed this thing that fucking what's his name said to me, which was, you're going to figure out your own style. Like, totally ignored that until this. In fact, Samantha. So Tori and Samantha fight was really good. Samantha looks really good. She does look like she knows what she's doing. Fucking punching things wise. The tournament a couple times was very, very clear that there was no audience there. Like there was always an audience present in the movie. Like that was like I get it. I get how hard it is to sort of record that with all those people, but that was the magic of Karate Kid. Was that tournament felt alive? Like that shit was buzzing, and that is not what the tournaments here feel like. They feel like three walls and the audience behind the camera. It feels very what sitcoms are set up to be. Yeah, it feels very, very studio. And let's see the other fights. Johnny and Daniel was fine. They both did seem kind of oldish, a little bit slower than when they were kids. The fight is good. I really like the idea of them being like, they're not doing Miyagi-Do. Like they can go out there and they're fighting and it's like they're doing something weird. Like I can tell their style. Yeah, I really, really like that. They immediately know. Oh no, they played rock. My scissors are not going to work here. I really like that. yeah, I like where Daniel is at with his being like, oh, okay, I get it. You go be you. So that seems like the lesson that Daniel's been trying to learn this whole time. And I think the only thing we can do for another season is have him unlearn it and relearn it, and I really don't want to do that again. I think I don't know what the fuck we're doing with Johnny. I feel really bad about him. Oh my god, when Johnny and Miguel are having a moment, and then Johnny's all like, Robbie, that, like, I just do not like this in my fiction, you know? Like, every time I see this, I'm like, well, first of all, I'm like, why the fuck don't we address the alcoholism of every fucking person in this thing? Like, how come we do not have to talk about the alcoholism of Johnny LaRusso, or Johnny Lawrence, Danny LaRusso, Amanda LaRusso? Mm-hmm. Like, all of these people are fucking drunk all the fucking time, or drinking all the time. And then nobody Ubers home, you know, like, we never, and then, because again, Danny and Johnny go out to a bar, and they're all like, alright, we're gonna have the fight, and then the next day, Danny's like, obviously we didn't mean it, and like, that, you know, the idea that, like, alcohol gives you an excuse to have a completely different understanding of what we agreed to last night, it just is, lazy writing, to be like, here's why they came out of that with this whole other thing. Here's why Danny feels like he can be like, I don't have to do what I said last night, we were drunk. It's just fucking lazy. And also, yeah, dude, that's alcoholism. That thing right there. Dude, that's not what you said last night. Here's the video of it. And then being like, oh, come on, I was drunk. Like, okay, dude, fuck you. Like, drunk person says one thing, sober person says this other thing. Like, why hang out with you when you're drunk? Anyway, I don't know why nobody has that problem in that world. Of being like, fuck your lies when you're drunk. That's it. I liked it. It's the best season since the first season, which is the good season. Like, again, they jumped the shark after the first one. Super bummer. Oh my god. Carrie Underwood comes in for who knows fucking what. Like, it was the weirdest. Like, they just kept on going. Like, I skipped. I was like, fucking, what is happening? And then it was like, oh, this was the longest lead-in to the fucking, fights, montage. It was terrible. I was pissed. So I think we can cut it down to a 4-hour experience, and I think it'd be a really good 4-hour experience. I would like to have more time when Hawk is over it. I think the argument of, like, this thing has only been fucking garbage in my life. It did not do the things it promised. It did this whole other thing. I feel like a fucking dipshit. I feel like an asshole. I feel like everything I've been doing in the last year has been bullying. Like, it turned me into a bully, and I hate it. I really would have loved to have, like, an episode about that instead of just, like, his friend talks him out of it in that fucking... yeah, that scene. The next scene, he gives up everything he just said. It's a bummer. And I think he looked amazing with the purple mohawk. I think he looked really good with the fire starter. Short hair for a second. I think he should have just fucking worn that. You know, I think it would be a very Hawk move to just fucking wear that shit to school. But I also am really glad that he doesn't have to fucking have it. You know, I'm glad that he gave up the fucking... Oh, jeez. That he got to put down the fucking magic feather and not have to be like that. And I'm also glad that, like, the thing that motivates him is like, okay, I'm trying to impress this chick, dude. The best thing about all of this is that girl really fucking thinks it's rad. So I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to go hang out with her. And I think that's a great place to leave Hawk. Learned his lesson, gets to be Eli again, and isn't worried about the way that his lip looks, because he actually can fucking kick your ass. I think it's really cool that the I think they did the ref is being paid thing very well. Like, I did not expect it. But then afterwards, it was like, oh, of course, okay. That's why there were a couple calls that were like, what is up with that iffy call? Yeah, I think it's good. I think we did good by a lot of people. Of course, not Miguel. We've been shitting on him since season 1 for no fucking reason. Miguel got fucked again. Johnny did some things that are unbelievable again, and also the jump.
It seems like every season is Johnny shitting on Miguel and apologizing, and then doing it again the next season at the very end. 'Cause
Yeah.
he was like, go out there and represent and win this.
Right. Yeah. Miguel is owed a lot of apologies.
Been given a lot of apologies, and none of them are holding.
Yeah,
That's what it
because
is.
and it still is the writer that owes these apologies to the character. It's really fucked up shit to fucking do to this kid. Really messed up.
Yeah, but I really liked Hawk's arc. I was upset when he was becoming such a bully, but I like that he's on the other side of being like, oh shit, I was a bully. I see it now. I was bullied, then I became a bully. I like that part.
It's really good. Yeah. So watch it. Watch the drama scenes on Time and a Half on Netflix, which you're allowed to do. It's really long, so, don't feel bad about it. It's not the best season. Go ahead and watch that. And then also, while you're at it, go check out YouTube and check out all the Terence Hill films. That's what I'm doing. He's Trinity, and I've very much enjoyed him, and you get to see him in all these other movies. They do really good at Time and a Half as well. Especially in not comedies. So yeah, that's the shit that's on Netflix. So let me do this right here.
All we need is candlelight, you and me, and a bottle of wine, and I'll hold you tonight. Well, we know I'm going away, and how I wish it was so take this wine and drink with me. Let's delay our misery. Say tonight, fight the break of dawn, come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone, sing tonight. Fight the break of dawn, come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone. There's a log on the fire, and it burns like me for you. Tomorrow comes with one desire, to take me away from the truth. It ain't easy to say goodbye, darling, please don't stop to cry. 'Cause girl, you know I've got to go. Oh, and Lord, I wish it wasn't so. Save tonight and fight the break of dawn, come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone, save tonight and fight the break of dawn, come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone. Tomorrow comes to take me away. I wish that I could stay. Girl, you know I've got to go. Oh, Lord, I wish it wasn't so. Save tonight, fight the break of dawn, come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone, save tonight, and fight the break of dawn, come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone, save tonight, and fight the break of dawn, come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone, save tonight, fight the break of dawn, come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone. Tomorrow I'll be gone. Tomorrow I'll be gone.
Alright, I lost Josephine. She, like, ran away. Oh, here she is. She's back. Well, so that is that. Talked about all the things sort of on my list. I've only got 30 minutes left, and I said I was going to go take some questions here. So let's drop into this shit. If you want the links of the thing, then check out the thing, because there might be links there. Maybe there's not. Maybe there is. I don't know. Here we are, cling-clonging in there. So maybe in a second here, we might, someone may have been feeling the promptings of the flying spaghetti monster, touching them in their heart, letting them know that they want to get up there and talk. Or, you know, social anxiety or whatever it is. You know, I don't know how a flying spaghetti monster talks to you. Maybe he talks to you through social anxiety. That feeling inside that, like, oh no, I'm going to have to get up and communicate with somebody and ask a question of the Pastafarian. So you can come over into our radio show Discord, or you can drop by this Politics and Religion Discord. And so now we're just going to run around in the video game after I drink this. We're going to run around in this video game until somebody talks to me. Let me check this. Yeah, it looks like I'm push to talk over here. Alright.
This facility will produce multiple products. To divide them, you need to set a filter on the sorter. You can use Tab or the arrow keys on the right side of the keyboard to quickly set the filter when building the sorter. You built a storage tank. It is more suitable for storing fluid than the storage. Each storage tank can only store one single type of fluid and can be built vertically. However, once it has been removed, all the stored fluid will be devastated.
Alright, gentlemen and ladies and Pastafarians. We did it. We got the Reds connected. We'll sort of up those productions or whatever next time. We'll make this faster. We'll fill up the stacks here so that we're going through at a full pace for one of these stacks of Reds or whatever. I'm gonna get out of. I'm gonna stop inviting people to this channel here because it looked like nobody came and talked to us, which is pretty nice because I only really had 20 minutes anyway. So there's this thing coming up in Broomfield where it's the drag queen story hour at the Broomfield Library, and the local Christians are very upset about it, and so they'll often be there to tell people how upset they are about it. So it's in a couple weeks here, so hopefully I can drop down and pop into that and see how all the local street preachers are doing. Joseph Maldonado is posting his videos, so that's exciting. Go check him out over there on Facebook and YouTube. He's doing some editing now during the... I haven't seen him out in months, so I guess he's just editing his shit that he has. And so, hopefully I can pay him to edit my stuff, because I also have this huge backlog of sermons. So if he gets good at doing that shit, I'll try to pay him to do mine. That would be nice. Editing it really is the very annoying part of it. In fact, because I went down the other day, I did a lot of sort of street stuff, and I was going to edit it, and then instead I just did not. So, yeah. Yeah. But also, again, I never really check the Patreon. I talk a lot about the Patreon because A, I think it'd be cool if you gave me money, and B, I like to satirize these YouTubers who talk about it very, very clearly that they are shilling merchandise is their number one sort of money making. T-shirts. We're a T-shirt economy. We're a merch economy now. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Like, we were wearing Coke shirts and Mickey Mouse shirts, and then we're like, let's wear each other's brands. And I think it's better. I think it's better than wearing Coke. I do wear Atari around and like the Goonies and like some old 80s sort of nostalgia brands. But I do think it's really cool to fucking rep the brands of the people that are merching. I think that's funny and cute, and go ahead, right? Like, that's much more healthy than merching Coke and Atari, right? Anyway, I'm not gonna do a song to go out because maybe we're totally banned from YouTube already. But hopefully they understand the reasons for playing the hymns and stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Again, if you would like to know what merch we have, check out PO Box 31438, Aurora, Colorado 80041. Send a self-addressed stamped envelope, and we'll get you out that thing where you can know what we're selling. Well, we're pretty much selling anything. If you want the fucking Flying Spaghetti Monster drawn on something in Sharpie, I'll definitely do that for you. And yeah, we've got bathwater or whatever over on OnlyFans if that's what you're into. Type it in there on the OnlyFans. And other than that, I'm gonna fuck off now. So